hanging in the air. On the transition, Eric Palmer. And it's 14-12, East Tennessee State.
Well, you know, one thing East Tennessee doesn't have any problem is recruiting short guys, right? They know they're going to get a chance to play after Jennings and the years of greatness there.
Jerry Pelfrey with his first. Coming back to the bench will be Greg Dennis, as he was replaced by Leslie Brunn, a 6'7" freshman out of Elizabethton, Tennessee. That one hit the side of the glass on a shot by Sebastian Neal, but the other 33 got it, it appears.
Shows you a little bit of the ability that Sebastian Neal has when he's got the basketball and they clear out for him.
Actually, it was 21, Trizell Silvers.
And the Titans, things may look gloomy, 4-11, but hey, they're finally turning around. The rest of the year now, from this game on, they've got 9 of their last 13 in this building against some very good teams, such as Oklahoma. That'll be on the road, but Oklahoma State comes in here. Tulsa will come in here, and SMU and some others. Texas, they've still got on there. But the fact that at least they can finally play a few home games, Bob, if they can benefit from that road experience, a chance for Ken Tricky's group to turn around, and they're trying to come back to NCAA Division I, and that's not an easy road.
Scott Coleman just checked in, 13, you saw him. ORU just 1 of 3 from the line. And they're shooting 25% now as Sebastian Neal fails to make either. So 12:50 to go, first half. East Tennessee State with the ball and a 2-point lead. And ORU true to form so far. Quick start, but they're fading a bit.
Titans in a zone now to try to board a little bit better and shut things down inside.
Ball kick to the left side. Nothing doing there for Silvers. And underneath, ORU on the foul. Might have been Coleman who just checked in.
It's a veteran East Tennessee State team, and they show it the way their ability to bring in fresh players and not skip a beat.
Leslie Brunn, born in the Virgin Islands, moved to Tennessee sophomore year in high school.
You think that was culture shot?
Well, Tennessee has more hills. He was an all-stater his senior year, 21 points, 10 rebounds a game last year. But a lot of times when you see kids come in from outside the contiguous 48, they picked up basketball at a later age, and they don't always have the great shooting technique they should. Sometimes, though, they're better shooters because they don't have the bad habits of youth. Now there's a drive, no basket. Foul before this shot on Matt Crane on the driving Trizell Silvers.
Ken Tricky, I don't think real happy with that last move by Ray Thompson. But when you don't get good play from your guards on a steady basis, sometimes your other guys, such as Neal and Thompson, who have the ability to put the ball on the floor, are going to try to do too much. And I think that might have been the case on that last trip down the floor for Thompson.
East Tennessee State really starting to move the ball offensively. We told you they're a 5-man passing game team. And in the air, fouled was Eric Palmer.
Titans picking them up early. That's 16 fouls now on ORU. Coach LaForce said real easy to find out if we're on track in the early going. He said if we're out in the passing lanes defensively, making some deflections, paying attention to business, got some intensity, we're all right on that end. They're doing that now. Offensively, if we're moving the ball, as you mentioned, good crisp passes, and taking that 5 or 6 to find the open man, we're okay there. Well, right now, they're doing that, yet the lead is just 3.
Eric Palmer, 5'6" sophomore out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. This guy is super quick, but he's still a little out of control as a young backup point guard. Nice follow, good work by Leslie Brunn. And that's a 3-point play. East Tennessee State now leads by 5. ORU's got a drought going here from the scoring standpoint.
Titans need to show some patience here and get a good shot. East Tennessee extending the defense some.
Neal on a pass from Craig. Just wouldn't go for him. And now Pelfrey on the transition. Eric Palmer. Crane's got to watch this guy. He is so quick. Nothing inside for Silver, so they swing it back around. Palmer way out there, and that's a three. He's come off the bench with a basket, a free throw, and a three, and Ken Trickey calls a timeout. 8 minutes and 41 seconds into the first half. East Tennessee State has moved out to an 8-point lead with offense and none by ORU. They now lead at 20-12.
All right!
Totally tubular.
It's great. It's a blessing. Oh, it's truly a place to be.
It's hard to describe ORU in one word just because there's so many different. I wish I could think of one word.
Unique.
Personal relationships and lifelong friends. Being a part of ORU means a great brother wing.
Excellence.
Can't do it. Not possible.
Unique.
Give me a week, maybe I can come up with something.
Massive.
Fantastic.
TV.
ORU gives me direction for the future.
How's it going? Body, mind, and spirit. Great chapels.
ORU keeps the fire burning.
All I think about is the best.
Super cool hip gag moving cane.
The point is, just one word isn't enough. Oral Roberts University. Experience it.
There's no place like it on earth.
That's one word.
Welcome back to the Mabee Center, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Bob Carpenter, Bill Land, and the Buccaneers have come to life, Bill, with an 11-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Well, and you mentioned before the break, the guy responsible for the tail end of it, at least, Eric Palmer, comes in, and that's got to bring a smile to Coach LaForce's face to see that and get that kind of play at the point guard, because they're so solid everywhere else. If he can get some help from Palmer off the bench, I know they're already feeling pretty confident in Jason Dibble.
So the Titans of ORU, without a point in the last 4 minutes or so, down the floor now. Scott Coleman is out there with Matt Crane at the guards. Crane pulls up, and that's what they needed. Looked like a set play by Ken Trickey coming out of the timeout, and they needed that trip down the floor. That's way out of control. Bad shot by Leslie Brunt. You don't do that when you're up by 6. All the way, Coleman!
Great outlet by Thompson to key the break, and the Titans had a 4-on-1.
Bill, that's a 4-point swing there on a very poor shot by a team that should know better than that.
Would agree.
Now from way out there, another miss. But big, strong, physical work underneath, but a travel on Leslie Brunn. And it looks like Coach LaForce will come with all of his starters back in there.
So much for developing the bench, huh?
Telford is back. Story is back. So is Dennis. And the guards, of course, Jason Niblett, the point guard who started out, and Rodney English. So he had 5 subs out there, and Leslie Brunn had 2 tough trips down the floor. ORU right back in it now, 28 seconds away from the midway point in the first half.
But that might be one of the reasons that East Tennessee was able to wear ORU down in the first meeting by playing that many guys, and they still came out of that in pretty good shape and gave their starters a breather.
Well said. And we'll keep our eye on that as the night goes on. Thompson with a little dribble penetration. Got it back from Coleman for 3. Yes! That makes it a 1-point game as Thompson gets on the board for the first time.
Ken Trickey said Thompson has been all that he was billed coming in from Iowa, and said has done everything he has asked. He is a great basketball player. And Thompson and Neal, talk about getting tired. Neal goes 37 minutes a night, and Thompson goes 36.
Well, the folks in Murfreesboro know all about Thompson. Ray had 30 points, 18 rebounds against Middle Tennessee State's Blue Raiders the other night. But as we said earlier, nothing came from outside for ORU.
And the folks in Johnson City and these guys, East Tennessee, know all about him because he and Neal combined for 52 in the loss between these two in the first game.
Neal with the steal, 5 turnovers now by the Buccaneers, and the Titans have a chance to take the lead. But they go high risk indoors, and Ray Thompson couldn't get the pass from Scott Coleman. They try to kick it down low in a hurry. There's a deflection by Neal. ORU out-hustles to win the 50-50. And then Neal throws it behind. Check it, it was Coleman throwing it behind Neal.
Boy, and that's what gives Ken Trickey gray hairs, because you got the break, you got the ball to the man you want. Your guard has the basketball, and his reaction was almost like, here, take it. He's got to take control and play under poise to avoid the turnover there.
13 of the game, 7 of those by ORU. That was a costly one because they had 3 on 2.
Chance to take the lead.
English and Niblett around the perimeter. Talford from the left side short with it. Whoa, look at that work by Rodney English.
And Sebastian Neal is on vacation. Absolutely no checkout.
And at the other end, he gets blocked by Greg Dennis. Now we're seeing some of the athleticism of this ETSU team. Niblett down low. Little improvisation by English, but it won't go for him. Finally, Sebastian Neal takes charge. Ray Thompson with his second consecutive tray. Ball game is tied at 22. Just over 8 minutes to go.
And the Thompson and Neal show starting to warm up.
Well, they're figuring we gave their guards their 12 minutes or so to shoot.
Now it's our chance. Get out of here.
At the other end, there's a 3 by Calvin Telford. 5 for him. He averages 16. Coleman, good quickness. All the way.
And a blocking foul.
He's come off the bench to spark ORU with his tremendous quickness.
Well, Ken Tricky's always got players and always got great athletes. And Coleman is the kind of a guy that fits into what he's looking for. That's got the good quickness, the ability to put the ball on the floor, take it to the hole. And he had a little judgment problem there a moment ago. No judgment problem that time.
Coleman to tie it with the three-point play. This is a guy that averages 7 off the bench, already has 5. And the score is tied at 25 with 7.5 to go, first half. High post. Line drive turnaround by Dennis, and right there is Trezell Silvers to knock it home.
Great timing by Silvers.
That's the key to offensive rebounding.
Yeah, because it wasn't like that he wasn't blocked off. He certainly just didn't have great position, but he timed it perfectly, and Thompson got caught flat-footed there.
Don't have to be the biggest guy out there either.
Nobody will give that guy any grief. The official there, Ron Spittler, we just saw a moment ago, an NFL official who may have a shot at one of the playoff games next week, takes control of the ball game.
East Tennessee State has 5 offensive rebounds in the game. Neal beat his man to the pass, couldn't do anything with it, and then it looks like we have an illegal screen out high on Scott Coleman. That'll be his second personal.
Moving screen on Coleman, and he'll come out of the ball game as Ken Trickey will pull him in favor of Brian Garner. But overall for the Titans here, down by 2. Talked about earlier in the telecast, they had to have some help. Well, Crane has hit one. Garner got off to a quick start early. Neal and Thompson scoring a bunch of points there in the flurry, but they're getting some help from some of their other players, and that has to be encouraging to Coach Trickey, Bob.
Titans are in the penalty situation, so the Buccaneers go to the other end to shoot. And he misses the 1-and-1. Would have put his team up by 3, maybe 4. On the dribble drive, Brian Garner, turnaround. The follow by Henderson, who hangs but misses. And a steal from behind. Ray Thompson bumped it away. Garner back to him, and a blocking foul on the defense. Nice defense in transition by ORU.
It's one of the things that ORU can do to really disturb a team and get them out of a rhythm, particularly a team like East Tennessee State that normally shows patience, will run it occasionally, is that you don't know who's going to lead the break with the Titans. When you have the athletes that they do, like Neal and Thompson at the forwards that can get out on the break, and it can really be disrupting to the Buccaneers because you can't just pinpoint, hey, this guy can do this and this guy can do that. And Coach LaForce was talking that was a concern earlier, and you're seeing East Tennessee playing sloppier than normal. That's a credit to the Titans.
Thompson is a scorer, not on that one, but at Iowa, second most points ever by a freshman a couple of years ago when he knocked down 357. He has 7 tonight, and it's the Buccaneers on top by a point. 6.5 to go. Last touch by Brian Garner. ORU arguing that Trezell Silvers touched it on the way down. He thought about it.
Yeah, he sure did.
Pelfrey will check back in.
made the smart decision, though.
And Marty Story will sit down for the Bucks. Number 11, Greg Dennis, receiving that inbounds pass with the ball now, has not scored, and he's averaging 18 a game.
And if you're wondering what's a 6'11" guy doing out on the wing, that's not abnormal for him, and he can shoot him from out there. Dennis is a guy that the pros are looking at as more of a power forward, almost finesse forward type. Even though he's big, he's not real physical for a center.
Here's Henderson, ditching off, backing in. Thompson can't hit it. Henderson a touch, and Dennis brings it down for the Buccaneers. Buddy traveled, and ORU will get it back. And you know, Bill, coaches will tell you it's kind of funny. When a big kid who's a senior like Dennis is finds out scouts are watching him, he'll start getting outside a little more. Because you've got to shoot that to get to the NBA. Unless you're just a Shaquille O'Neal underneath.
Well, and he's anything but that at 205 and 6'11", and that might be boosting a little bit on the weight situation. His position, the pros will not be center.
Dennis being watched out there by Henderson. Silvers back to Telford. They're trying to get Dennis flashing across the lane, but when he puts the ball down to the floor, forget it. They're triple teaming him down there. Good transition. Neal throws up a prayer after he had been fouled by Pelfrey. This game is just ragged enough to be a big problem for the visiting team right now.
Yeah, it's for ORU, Ken Tricky's style of getting after it, and the Titans certainly do that when it comes to putting it in the hole. They average 81 points a ball game, and that's low compared to Titan teams of the past. That again, what I'm talking about is the disruption they can cause somebody. That it's playing right into ORU's hands, and Coach Tricky, I think, has got to be fairly pleased being down just 3 right now. If they can hit some free throws, Bob, they'd be on top in the ball game.
Not shooting well from the line is ORU. 3 out of 9 so far. In a ball game, they only trail by 3. And Neal, coming off a 30.8 rebound performance in Murfreesboro the other night. Only 2 points so far, but his team right in it. They're spreading things around a little more this time. Here's Pelfrey pulling up. Jumper short. Coleman, who just checked in transitions, but there's Pelfrey to deflect it at least and keep the break from happening. Now ORU on the secondary break.
Titans look to go inside much more than in past years, and that leads them to the foul line. That's one of the things that has kept them in a few ball games this year, that they shoot more free throws than they have in the past, and there's a good example of it.
ORU gets the foul called. They're 0 for their last 5 from the field, but they've drawn 2 quick fouls on the scoreless Greg Dennis. And at the line will be Ray Thompson again.
The other thing it does, it gives a fellow like Thompson a chance to catch a breather when you can get these guys to the free throw line a little bit more often. And no secret with the minutes played that we gave you that Neal and Thompson are basically in for the duration. Any kind of rest they get has got to be considered a real present from Ken Tricky.
Rodney English back for the Bucks. Thompson, 8 points, 2 of 7 from the field, both threes, and now 2 of 5 from the line.
And unfortunately, it's about par. He's 59% on the year.
4:45 to go. East Tennessee by a point, 29-28. We haven't seesawed that many times in the first half, but it has been a half when the teams have really traded the momentum back and forth. Inside they go. Silvers. This guy is really quick. 8 points for him. He's only averaging 5. So he's picking up the scoring that Dennis isn't doing. Way out there. Air ball, Sebastian Neal. Bucks by 3 as Pelfrey fakes and dumps it down low. And a quick jump by Rodney English. Now it's 33-28.
Critical period for the Titans. They look a little tired right now. They've got to come up with better shots than that. They got back-to-back air balls, Bob. Thompson's huffing and puffing. Henderson is not in shape. Ken Tricky's club needs a bit of a breather here right now, and you've got to, sometimes when you get tired, you not only make physical mistakes, you make mental mistakes, and I think we've seen the last 2 trips.
They get a timeout. 3:54 to go first half. ORU now down by 5. Buccaneers on a bit of a roll.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the lines, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around.
Well, but first half action, just under 4 minutes to go with Bill and Bob Carpenter, and ORU got off to a quick start. Buccaneers came back strong, but when they put their second 5 in there, Titans got all over them. And now the Bucs are back on top by 5.
We talk about what East Tennessee misses with Jennings being gone. What about ORU without Greg Sutton? And folks, of course, in the Tulsa area are well aware of it now with the San Antonio Spurs. But when you take a guy who is such a great player and a tireless worker away from you, no matter what your guards are, you're going to drop off there. And the Titans really miss him.
All-time leading scorer with 3,070 points. And in case you forgot, a high of 68 one night against Oklahoma City. Look at that assist. What a pass by Reese Dudley. And it's finished with an exclamation point by Rodney English.
And Dudley had a big night the first meeting. We had 14 points to go against the Titans in that 16-point win by the Buccaneers.
But how does Dudley make that pass while he's falling to the floor? Scott Coleman on the left side for Ray Thompson. Good defense there by Jerry Pelfrey. ORU has missed its last 7 field goals, and East Tennessee State's on a 10-3 run. So they've had a couple of extended runs in this half.
Get some time.
And the Titans answered the first one after 11 straight by the Buccaneers.
But Neal without a field goal. And that's a hustle foul. But number 3 on Trezell Silvers.
Situation here, I think that Earl Roberts needs to become patient and actually work some time off the clock. Get a good shot, number 1, but to hopefully stay within that 3 to 5, maybe 7-point spread here going into the half and regroup. The last thing Ken Trickey needs is for his ball club to throw up a few more bad shots early in the shot clock situation, easy Buccaneer baskets, and go in down by double digits.
Silver sits down with 8.7 rebounds. Brunn replaces him, and Cornell Henderson has his 3rd point.
Silver's only averaging 3 rebounds a game. He's had a huge effect on this ball game.
His 7 leading everybody tonight.
That ties his best rebounding effort of the season. He'd had it twice earlier this year. And here we got 2:57 to go in the half.
Well, he has to sit down with 3 fouls. 5 points again the spread, 2:50 to go before halftime. Little half-court trap by ORU, but Eric Palmer, how do you trap a guy 5'6" who's that quick? There's nothing to reach for. And then there's a trip in the backcourt by Reese Dudley after a nice steal by ORU's Scott Coleman.
Yeah, Dudley, and I think, again, you've got a couple of the reserve players in for East Tennessee, and Coach Trickey's counter by putting some little pressure on him here prior to the half, and it works with a turnover. You're talking about Sutton, Bob. Ken Trickey was telling me earlier today that it was a real thrill for him to sit back the other night, and San Antonio's playing the Knicks, and here's Greg Sutton, who played for Coach Trickey here at ORU, going head-to-head against John Starks, who played for Ken Trickey when he was at Oklahoma Junior College. And he said to watch those 2 fellas go at it really makes you feel good about being in the coaching business, because there's a couple of guys that, certainly in Stark's case, an absolute Cinderella story, and Sutton has got a little bit of that in him too.
7 now for Scott Coleman. He's been great off the bench for the home team. 2.5 to go, 3-point game. Eric Palmer running the offense. Jason Niblett, haven't seen much of him in the first half. There's a long, long 3. Missed by Reese Dudley. Crane switches it, and a running layup. Scott Coleman's got 2 more.
What a pass by Crane to set it up. Those bounce passes are not easy to take while on a full fly.
Pelfrey now off his hands on a high-risk cross-court pass by Reese Dudley. 11 turnovers by the visiting team, and they will get Damian Hodge in there for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Dudley's coming out. He's made a couple of pretty critical mistakes here in the last couple of minutes for Coach LaForce.
Hodge mainly a defensive player who doesn't play much at all. Crane on top for Thompson. They swing it right side. Coleman, he's had a big first half. And he gets his own rebound. Fantastic for Coleman.
Great effort by Coleman.
He's put his team back in the lead with 1:35 to go. Eric Palmer, that's a 3. 9 for him off the bench.
That stopped, I believe, an 8-point run for ORU.
This has been scrub night in the first half. All the subs coming in and doing big-time offensive jobs.
Where's my uniform?
Thompson. You're out of eligibility. That's your problem. Over the baseline, East Tennessee will have it back.
Finally, a game that we could liken to.
Well, there's the game clock. Folks, we don't even need to show you the shot clock tonight. It's only been inside 15 seconds once.
Yeah, it hadn't been a factor with these two ball clubs, and that's probably something the coaches are going to preach about a little bit at halftime, that maybe it should have been.
East Tennessee State with a 2-point lead in the final minute. Nice no-look pass by Pelfrey, and Neal was stuffed by Henderson. And a whistle at midcourt. It'll be on Damian Hodge.
Well, the Titans, they get the great defensive play from Henderson, and the ball comes out, and it was one of those you got it, who's got it jobs. Almost acted like that basketball was allergy infested or something. No one wanted to pick it up.
Hodge took a shot, probably hit the floor with the back of his head. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, Alan LaForce stands there and stares at the trail official who made the call. There was an official closer to the play who let play continue. That whistle came from the far side.
That's one of those things that it's just part of the three-man officiating crew. It always seems a couple times in a ball game that you will see an official make a call and say, no, wait a minute, there was someone standing right there who didn't see it. How can you come 40 feet across the floor and do it? But I used to be a detractor of the three-man crew, but anymore I think the game's so fast that the two just would not work at all.
I agree with you, Bill. It's gotten to be a different ball game. Plus the three, you got to watch a guy's feet. You have to watch a guy's hands to see if he's been fouled.
And you got to watch that coaching box. You don't dare want anybody cross that line over there, which is one rule I've never quite figured out. It's tough enough to referee the game without keeping an eye on the coach.
Well, ORU got a break there. They lost the free throw, then the offensive rebound. Thompson will throw it in out on top for Neal. ORU right in the game despite a 2-point first half by its leading scorer, Sebastian Neal. Big-time rejection. Rodney English way up there. He is something.
Got some athletes on the floor tonight.
They'll hold it now. 30 seconds. Shot clock is off. Haven't played well on the road, so content to go into the locker room with at least 2, maybe a 4, maybe a 5-point lead.
Titans stay zone.
Now the final 10 seconds. They go into their offense. Palmer, Niblett, Pelfrey goes baseline left, all the way in. Blocked from behind. Crane's got to throw up a prayer at the buzzer. But the Titans of ORU hanging tough as East Tennessee State leads it by just 2. Has that 11 turnover figure down at the bottom of your screen. ORU playing helter-skelter sometimes, but under control pretty well tonight. Only 6 first half turnovers. Second half coming up, 2-point spread, that's all.
To people with cancer from Oklahoma and 33 other states, it's a haven, a healing place with
And ORU shooting only 39%. East Tennessee State right on its season average of 47% in the first half.
You know, Bob, if you had told us before the ball game that Thompson and Neal, who are averaging 45 points a game between them, are only going to have 10 at the half and are shooting a combined 2 of 12 from the floor, what will ORU's score situation be? I don't think most folks would say would only be down by 2. So that's going to turn around in the second half. It's got to get better. And I also expect East Tennessee's probably going to play a little bit better basketball and particularly going to have to handle the ball better if they're going to expand their lead at all.
ORU will have the ball to start the second half. Brian Garner will throw it in. And keying the attack, Matt Crane. Titans with a chance to tie or take the lead. And East opens up in a zone. Looks like a 2-3 look.
That is a real rarity.
They'll say, okay, shoot us out of it, guys. They work it down low, and Henderson went up and was stripped of the ball.
Coach LaForce told me this morning, when I asked, I said, well, man-to-man most of the time, don't you? And he goes, yeah, he says, in fact, I can't think if we've gone zone at all this season. He said, we keep talking about doing it, but we never seem to get there. Well, I think that taking a look at those numbers from the first half probably convinced him of just what you're saying. Titans are going to beat us from the outside because they have done a pretty good job rebounding.
Henderson with his 5th point of the night. One of those rare birds who shoots better from the field than from the line. 51 to 50, respectively. Got the shooter's roll. A half dozen for him. His season average, and the game is tied in the first 20 seconds after intermission. Jason Niblett. Haven't seen much of him tonight. He started, didn't hang around running the offense very long. Rodney English, the 2 men on the right wing, out to Telford now, is playing with 3 fouls.
Niblett's been playing almost 27 minutes of games. That's kind of strange.
Maybe he'll get 20 of them here. I guess they really haven't had much continuity offensively. Shot clock down to 10. Story kicks it for Telford. Line drive and a foul. Was that a 3?
Yes.
It was a 3, and he was fouled.
Well, there you have it. The Cardinal sin of basketball. You don't hammer them on the tray because it becomes a 4-point play possibility, and the Titans see the lead possibility taken away.
Bill, I've done a number of games this year, and thinking back to last year, I can't remember the last time I saw a guy fouled shooting a 3-pointer.
I saw one just the other night. Jeff Malum from the University of Tulsa had hit 1 3, came back, got a steal, hit a 3, and got fouled and had a 4-point play and scored 7 points in about a matter of 15 seconds.
There's a 4-point play, and at the other end, goaltending on Rodney English, who's lucky he didn't put his face through the glass. This guy is unbelievable.
Hey, I'll take it though. If I'm English or whatever, it's going in anyway. It's got to make anybody think a little bit the next time they go inside when it's a little bit more congested.
I'd love to walk over to Stan Olbeck right now, scouting for the Milwaukee Bucks, and say, what do you think about this guy? Nice no-look pass, but a steal. Great anticipation by Sebastian Neal coming down the paint defensively.
Yeah, Titans playing the zone and called it right. Neal had to bust it, and when you play in that middle spot like that, you've got to have a great athlete and got to have a guy who gives great effort. There's no slouching in there.
Speaking of quick decisions, you just don't have time. Niblett back on top for the Buccaneers, who come in 7-2.
This is the start of 4 straight on the road for East Tennessee State, so they're going to get to feel what ORU's been going through.
Way out there, 3 won't go for Telford. Ball bouncing and controlled by Brian Garner. He'll pull up and shoot a little sidearm job. That was kind of a rare looking shot.
Yeah, it was an awful looking shot. The selection wasn't bad. It was a decent position to shoot from, but the defense there wasn't much to talk about.
Now, that's why Jeff Lebo is reminded of Michael Jordan when he talks about Calvin Telford. That was a little MJ right there.
Yeah, you're just talking about pure athleticism. This guy has got some.
Crane on top for Neal. Crane will get it, try to beat Telford, who stands straight up, but he had the feet moving. And that will be 4 on him.
Pardon me, Bob, that's a big key here, by the way. Kim Trickey talking about his guards and what has irritated him. He said, I think for guards that it's really simple. If the man comes out on you, you take it to the hole or you pass it before he comes out on you. If he backs off, you either shoot it or you pass it. He said, our guys get out there and wait, and it's almost like they relish someone coming to them, and then they don't make anything happen. And he said it's that indecision that has been driving him nuts most of the season.
Telford will have to sit down now with 4 fouls. That'll help ORU. At the line, Matt Crane, the junior guard out of Carbondale, via John A. Logan Junior College.
It was Ken Trickey from Cairo, Illinois originally, and a lot of Southern Illinois ties, and that's where he goes back to pick up a couple of his players every year.
Neal finally gets his first field goal. It took a missed free throw to give him the opportunity. He's 1 for 5 from the field. It's a 2-point game again.
Good way to get it going and break out of a slump is coming on the boards and getting a cheap one like that. Maybe that'll turn him around.
Especially when it's something bad made into something good. The missed free throw and then the basket. English, he drills it from the right side. Rodney English with 9.
Neal averaging around 22 and been in double figures every game but one this year. Had just 2 out at Oregon State. So he has been consistent.
Thompson for Crane, around they swing it. Neal way out there. Rings out on him, and last touch by Cornell Henderson.
Well, Neal felt maybe, all right, I got back in and got the inside one. Now let's take one out to Mars and see if it'll go.
Scott Coleman back for the Titans. Sitting down is Matt Crane.
Titan crowd not what it will be for their other home games this season, with the students not yet back in session. I think when they get a chance to see this ball club a few times, that attendance will be up here because they've got some pretty good players.
Well, attendance will be up 2 weeks from tonight when Oklahoma State comes in. And Rodney English is starting to assert himself with Talford on the bench with 4 fouls. English taking over. 5 out of 6 he is from the floor.
Yeah, you mentioned Oklahoma State coming here. Ken Tricky's done a great job of starting off a good relationship coming back Division I with OSU and with Tulsa. Tulsa also will play down here, and when you're trying to get back to Division I, you need home games, and those two schools have cooperated. Don't be surprised if Billy Tubbs shows up here one of these days, too.
Even after vowing never to play again in Tulsa, huh?
Of course, maybe he'll say this is Jenks, Oklahoma, or Roberts, Oklahoma, but not Tulsa. It's not the convention center.
He won't go downtown. Oh, a bank 3.
Call that, please.
Ray Thompson, 13 for him, and as he banks in the 22-footer.
Don't they just give him 2 unless you call the bank?
Yeah, it's got to be a swish to be 3, doesn't it? English, too tall. Thompson clears it. Titans running down by 3. We're 4 minutes and 15 seconds into the second half. They kick it inside. Thompson flashed across. Ray with 15.
Good movement by ORU offensively against that zone. No standing around.
Now it's a 1-point game. Niblett on a pass from Pelfrey. Dennis a touch, but can't corral the rebound. And on the baseline, Ray Thompson. Well, they're going to say it was out of bounds off of East Tennessee State, and ORU will have it.
Titans a chance to take the lead. We always talk, maybe too much so, but do think it's important those first 4 or 5 minutes of the half, particularly for a club that's struggling like Oral Roberts. They've survived it nicely and got a chance to go on top.
He's got that look in his eye. Give me the rock. 18 for him. 3 in a row from the floor.
I think it's because of his threes, Bob. I mean, I really do. I think if you keep him rested, it's kind of a catch-22. You take him out, you're afraid of losing the ball game. But he was struggling before the half. He comes out here fresh and ready, and he's hitting.
East Tennessee State went better than 5 minutes before that first turnover of the second half. That was their 12th. ORU just shooting into the lead now. Ryan Garner all the way. They were down 48-42. This is a 10-0 run for Tricky's Titans.
It has been that tonight, had it? Nothing but runs.
Yep, game of runs. ORU had an 8-point run in the first half. Nothing in double figures. Pelfrey trying to put an end to it. Nobody boxed out Dennis, and it might cost ORU 3 points and a foul on Thompson.
There's Dennis, a guy in his agility and quick jumper, able to move around. And I can see how you might fall asleep on him once in a while, because you take a glance, he's sitting out there in three-point land himself, and the next time you turn around, here he is on the glass.
Redshirted last year because of a fractured right foot he suffered 2 days before the regular season started. This team went 28-5. What would they have been with him?
Yeah, he's a guy who was a proven player the year before, and according to Coach LaForce, it's taken him a little while to just get back in the rhythm, because he said he was out actually from November until July before he could really come back and try to get in shape. And he said, and then come back and get in game shape. It's been a bit of a struggle for Dennis.
Twizel Silver's back for the Buccaneers as Marty Story took a seat. Dennis now with 3 points and 5 boards. 1 point game again. The quickness of Coleman will beat the pressure. Top of the key, he whips it left side, all the way in. Ray Thompson is on fire.
And Bob, good decisions by the guards have led to the lead too. They've handled that defensive pressure. They've come off. They've kicked it to the right people. When no one picked up, I guess it was Garner a moment ago, he takes it all the way to the hole. And that's the difference between winning and losing for ORU this year.
Thompson with a hustle foul at the other end, trying to shoot the gap for a steal. He was rather surprised by the call of Ron Spittler down there on the baseline. Palmer running the offense. Niblett gone again. They've looked for the right combination tonight out top, has Alan LaForce, and hasn't found it yet. They've had flashes of it. They need somebody to start hitting a few from the outside. ORU's really packing it in.
So that's something Pelfrey has done for him in the past, but is only shooting 31% from three-point range coming in here tonight. Here's another one.
There he goes with 12 on the shot clock. Dennis again underneath. He's got 5 points the last 2 times down the floor after nothing for 25 minutes.
And here we go, back with the run for East Tennessee State. Let's see if they get the ball to Thompson. Thompson's hit all 5 of his shots in the second half.
Neal tries to go all the way, and a reach-in foul by Twizel Silvers will be his 3rd.
And there again is what you're looking for, guard stuff from ORU and leadership there. That you got Ray Thompson, who goes 2 of 8 the first half, 5 of 5 the second half. Get him the basketball.
Cornell Henderson sits down. First time tonight for Michael Meding. He's out of Sudan. Manute Bol's cousin. They always talk about that, out of Walker, Alabama Junior College. 6'10", 185. Not as thin as Manute. It hit off his hands, and look at the quick running of Eric Palmer to finish off that play. East Tennessee State back in the lead.
Yeah, Meding makes his comparison to Manute. I guess you look at Manute, you look at Meding, you must think, hey, Muscle Beach Party.
Coleman penetrates off the hands of Meding. Was it touched by the Buccaneers? They are livid over the call. I think Ron Spittler will overturn this one, and he does.
And Meding's going to have to anticipate a little bit better, but Ken Trickey likes him, and he says as he talks to Cornell Henderson that if Henderson doesn't come around and hit the projections that he'd like, Henderson is a senior, he said at some point I may just have to go to Meding and go ahead and suffer through some of his mistakes, but he said I like his instincts. He said I think he's got a chance to be a good ball player.
Eric Palmer, Pelfrey trying to set something up at the high post. Palmer for Dennis way out there and back out on top. LaForce says let's try the other side. Pelfrey as they switch it back, and he drills the 3. That's bad news for ORU if he gets hot outside.
Yeah, he gets on a roll, and watch out.
Here's Meding, offensive foul. But you did see a touch of the quickness on the dribble there.
He's got some quickness. He's a good shot blocker. He's an excellent shooter.
Henderson just needed a breather, so he's back.
I don't know if I've seen a game this year that's had as many swings as this one has, and it's just like, you get 10, I'll get 10. You get 10, I'll get 10.
Whoever's in the run at the end wins.
Yeah.
12 minutes to go.
That's close to carrying the basketball.
Buccaneers by 4. Eric Palmer on the dribble out there. Pelfrey again working off that high post. And he did turn it over that time. Nice call, partner.
Well, nice for those officials to wear those earpieces this year.
Timeout on the floor. 11:48 to go. At the half, it was East Tennessee State by 2. They've got a 4-point lead. 8 minutes and 12 seconds later.
To people with cancer from Oklahoma and 33 other states, it's a haven, a healing place with advanced, innovative, comprehensive treatment programs developed to attack cancer and defeat it. The Cancer Treatment Center of Tulsa at 81st and Lewis. 1-800-788-8485. They could save your life.
A quick lesson in Titan basketball. What a Titan usually sees. And what the competition usually sees. Get the idea? Oral Roberts University Titan basketball. Expect the unexpected. Don't get carried away. For tickets, call today, 495-7101.
Second half, 4-point game. Bill Land, both teams shooting much better since halftime.
Wow, I guess. East Tennessee 6 of 10 for 60%. Oral Roberts 7 of 9 for 78%. That includes the Ray Thompson show, who was 5 of 5 here in the second half.
Titans with it. 11:45 to go. This is when it's hang tough time. A lot of time to go in the game. Got to get some quality trips down the floor. Pretty good trap there. One-on-one defense by Pelfrey. The quickness of Coleman again. Whoa, what a shot off the glass. Scott Coleman with 13, nearly doubling up on his season average. He's 5 of 7 from the floor.
Good move, and if you just square up, youngsters, and you're watching, just square up to the basket no matter where you are, a lot more are going to go in, and that's what he did.
They continue to work Pelfrey at the high post, and then the dribbling of Eric Palmer off that. And if Pelfrey gets loose enough, he goes out, steps out for the three. Palmer thought about it. Pelfrey did too. Cut off nicely by Neal. Dennis, jump hook, won't go for him. And a break for ORU as Trezell Silvers missed what appeared to be an easy tip. Down low, away from the ball, looks like Brian Garner with a foul on the baseline. Official Ed Flynn all over him.
10:43 to go. Titans within 2, and been a team that been giving up 100 a game over the last 7. They haven't played many close games. Let's see if they stand the test of time here and hang in.
Pelfrey steps out. Can't make it 2 in a row. And good work by Henderson to box away the taller Greg Dennis. Neal looking for a little showtime here. Dumps it inside. Henderson dribbling around. That's a terrible pass. Telegraphed and right to Silvers, who will go all the way. 10 off the bench for Trezell Silvers.
Roberts was right in the game the other night with Middle Tennessee and got a bad spurt and ends up losing that one by 22. They've got to avoid that here right now. They've got to be able to hang in.
Boy, quick on the dribble that time. Ray Thompson blew right by his man. Looks like Jerry Pelfrey with his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Thompson, I'm feeling he's going to see some NBA action one of these days. 6'7", 220. Can put it on the floor, take it to the hole. Excellent three-point shooter. Strong enough to hold up under the rigors of that league.
Here's Neal around Silvers. Dennis cuts him off and fouls him. And that'll be number 3 on Greg Dennis.
Titans doing a good job of taking the ball to the hole, getting some important people for the Buccaneers in foul trouble.
This is not a shy basketball team at 4 wins, 11 losses.
Well, that's for sure.
Not gun shy at all. Sebastian Neal, normally their best free throw shooter, 2 of 6 here. Came in shooting 82%. That's only his 5th point of the night. He averages a team leading 23.
East Tennessee 2-1 on the road, 4-0 at home. Titans are 2-0 in their home games. It's just the 3rd road game and the 16th game of the year, but 9 of the last 13 are here at the Mabee Center.
Rebound Dennis off the miss. So with 9:45 to go, 3-point game, East Tennessee State by a 60-57 count. They kick it inside. Dennis knocked away by Neal. Coleman transitions. From behind, Silvers couldn't get it. Underneath, Ray Thompson, 22 for him. That's great transition.
Yeah, nice job by Thompson of finishing and using the basket as a shield from the defender.
Here's Rodney English double pumping. Nothing there. And I thought they were going to get Thompson for double dribble there.
Lucky they didn't for the Titans.
Neal. Three.
Run time.
Your turn, my turn.
With a point here, the next one may set who dictates things down the stretch.
2-point game. ORU back on top. Man left inside that defense, and Rodney English with an easy 2. 13 for him. And not bad service from Palmer either.
I didn't hear a whistle, did you?
I think he tried to blow the whistle, but it didn't blow for him.
Boy, what some coaches would give for that to happen more often.
Referee Tom Savela out there. And it must have been one of those tweets because we heard nothing. They haven't posted a foul on the board. Inadvertent whistle?
I guess. He didn't have a flag in his pocket, did he?
Blocking foul. ORU gets a break as Neal had lost control. And that looks like number 4 on Trezell Silvers.
And yeah, it is his 4th, Bob. East Tennessee one more, and the Titans will be going 1-1 the rest of the way. So free throws going to be a factor. ORU with 5 team fouls. They got 1 to give before they send the Bucks to the line.
Almost a steal by English. Coleman will take it all the way. That's offensive goaltending. Henderson way up there. That ball might have fallen in, but Cornell wasn't about to wait.
Yeah, and an understandable mistake. I thought the ball was going to fall, but boy, that unfortunately, I think the Titans have had that happen a few times this year. Those type of plays, and you go 4-11, you look back on.
Belfry straight down the middle. Who did hit last? ORU. Bucks will keep it with 7:59 to go. And East Tennessee State substituting much less frequently than they did in the first half, bringing back Leslie Brunn, the 6'7" freshman. He'll give a breather to Silvers, who sits down with 4 fouls.
Yeah, I think you'll see the Buccaneers will settle into their best group here coming down the final part. And
Palmer kicking it right side. It won't go on a 3 by Dennis. Here's Coleman running for ORU. Thompson receives it underneath. Whoa! Brian Garner.
Well, I don't know if he needed the mustard for that shot, but it sure looked pretty. It looked like he had an easy one on the other side, but what the heck? Go ahead and do it upright. Man, what a play. The Titans will never lack for excitement, ladies and gentlemen. What a bunch.
Under 7.5 to go. ORU still right there by 2. Garner 6 of 9. Was that one from the floor or what? There's a 3. Eric Palmer puts a bit of an end to that momentum. Now it's the visitors by a point with 7:10 left. Quick move on the dribble. Garner again. You better not commit if you're guarding him one-on-one because he's gone the other way. Here's Palmer doing the same thing on the runner, and that's an offensive foul. Eric Palmer with his first.
Well, see what happens when your guards play well, and Garner has played well, Coleman has played well, Crane has done a few things decent tonight, and all of a sudden, it takes just a lot of pressure, I think, mentally off of Neal and Thompson, where they don't feel that every time they come down, boy, I've got to get open, I've got to get the ball, got to do something here. And Ken Tricky's got to like what he's seeing from Garner, because this is what he expected. 7 of 10 from the floor.
There's another shovel. 8 of 11 now. 17 for him.
That's a career high here at ORU. His previous best was 15 against South Florida.
Titans by 3 with 6.5 to go. And Alan LaForce wants a timeout. 68-65. Oral Roberts, the man of this run, has been Brian Garner. Field goals the last 3 times down the floor.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I take it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep, yeah. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
It's time for you to return. I know. Time to make a change.
Ken Tricky's team with the possibility of making a major step in its development. This would not send shockwaves around the nation if they win this game, but it could be a big step forward for this team against a ball club that looks every bit as good as it was last year when it won 28 games and made another NCAA appearance.
Yeah, and East Tennessee State is 7-2. They feel they ought to be 9-0. They lost a game in Japan, I believe it was to Oregon, came back on the heels of that trip and jet-lagged one to Austin Peay. A big win for ORU if they can pull this one out here tonight, and particularly kicking off a kind of a second season for them with 9-13 at home after so many road games to start things off.
Yeah, this is a club that can forget about 91. Down by 3, Buccaneers with it. They'll look for something from outside, but it won't go for Eric Palmer, and they are getting no second shots.
Big difference from the first half.
Ray Thompson back on top to Coleman, who's had a dandy night. So has Garner, who gets it back from Henderson.
Garner's been the hot guy.
Neal for Garner, leaning. Little short. Henderson's got it. He was blocked by Greg Dennis.
Poor decision by Garner, hot or not.
4-on-2 alley-oop. It hits the glass. Comes back to Silvers, and all over him is Scott Coleman.
A poor decision by Garner. Nice effort by Henderson on the rebound, and then great athletic move again defensively. You can see why some pro scouts are excited about Greg Dennis, because he alters your shots. He can run the floor. He's a good rebounder. He can shoot the jumper from out on the floor. He's got a chance to play some more after college.
Trezell Silvers. 31 games for this team a year ago when he averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds, but he shot great. 57% from the field. And tonight, little double-double action with 10 points, 11 rebounds. Make it 11-11. So a 2-point game in the last 5.5 minutes. Garner trying to penetrate on Palmer, who got the steal. Silvers transition, bounce pass in, nothing underneath for Telford, and no fouls, but it will be ETSU's ball with 41 on the shot clock remaining.
Bodies flying at both ends right now with 5:13 to go, and the Titans hanging on by 2. Good hustle for Oral Roberts that trip.
Greg Dennis out on top for Telford. He had to sit down a while ago with 4 fouls. We'll see what he can do in the final 5 minutes. ORU gets the steal. 3-on-2. Line drive pass. And Neal hangs but misses. But they get it back.
I don't think Ken Trickey was looking for the alley-oop there. He just wanted the smart play. You've got an advantage or man or 2 advantage on that play. You don't need all the hot dogging in.
Buccaneer foul away from the ball. Might have been on English. His first.
You're talking about the Titans in the rebuilding process here. It has really been a strange one. Ken Trickey comes in, takes it over. They go 8-21 and 8-20 in Division I season. Then they decide to go NAI. He's finally got the players, I think, to compete Division I, and they win 36 his first year NAI, go to Kansas City and extend themselves. Then last year they go 29-6. But now they've dropped a little bit as far as the recruitment of players, and it comes back to Division I, and you start all over again. But this ball club's got a chance, I think, to get double-digit victories at least this year. and they're back on the road. But Ken Trickey says, man, if we just been able to stay Division I, he said we'd be so much further in our advancement. And I think people here in the Tulsa area understand that, Bob, because they've got some players right now.
Neal finally into double figures with 10. Timeout, 4:50 to go. ORU is on top now by a count of 70-66 as Neal converts the free ones and finally reaches that 10-point mark. Still, though, 13 under his average.
You take a look at close ball games for these two. For Oral Roberts, this is a new experience, and don't mean to run them down, but just to point it out. Losses by going back to the last time they lost even close was at Utah State by a dozen. Since then, by 35, 25, 32, 51, 20, and 22. And Ken Trickey's really got to let his ball club know, hey, gang, we're in one tonight. We got a chance to pull one out here against a good basketball team. And Coach LaForce knows, I'm sure, that the Buccaneers have got their hands full.
As they will when conference play gets underway.
Don't pick up your
They're expected to battle it out again with Furman, UT Chattanooga, and Appalachian State. Those were the top 4 teams in the league last year.
See, and first of all, they'll be afraid of it. I'm telling you, if you jump like you jump, they don't come in there and jump. Huh?
He's talking to Cornell Henderson, and I'd be afraid of a guy 6'8", 235 who can jump.
Can't quite catch Coach LaForce and what's going on in that huddle, but the Buccaneers got their hands full, down by 4 with 4:50 to go here.
This is a gentleman who's still relatively inexperienced coaching at the college level. 9 years a head coach at the College of Charleston NAIA. Assistant coach at ETSU under Les Robinson, who's now at the helm of the Wolfpack down in Raleigh. But only his second year. But as we said earlier, not left with a bad cupboard of talent.
No.
They almost gave it up in the backcourt after the inbounds play. They're down by 4 with 4:40 to go. Something brewing here in Tulsa. Nice feed, Dennis to Telford. Now the fans were hollering for an over and back, but he was straddling the center line, so that call a moot point.
Yeah, I like the Titan pressure, Bob, but they're really going to have to be careful that once it's over the timeline, they got to guard the hole.
Coleman gets Telford off the floor, and that was Telford with 4 fouls. Coleman still hit it, 15 for him.
They're going to try to pinch him out front a little bit, but it's going to really have to hustle back because he creates some turnovers, and they do it here.
Dennis throws it too tall for 5'11", Jason Niblett. East Tennessee State, only 5 turnovers in the second half, 16 in the game. ORU 7 of its 13 since halftime, but they haven't had the hurt from turnovers the visitors have. Ray Thompson looked a little undecided about that shot. Niblett, left side, Silvers, and he was fouled. Cornell Henderson.
Bob, we had the game of runs, and to me, it's kind of hit a point here right now where neither team is really taking charge of the ball game. They're kind of swapping out back and forth, and with 3:48 to go, still plenty of time, but it's one of those that if somebody can hit a bucket, get a steal, a foul, a three-point play or something, they've got a chance to make this lead. In the Titans' case, it could be 10 in a minute and really put the Buccaneers in a hole.
And they've got to hit free throws with the clock not moving. You always have to when you're trailing, especially on the road. Now the best they can do is back to within 3. Ooh, Henderson had a touch, but Telford got it back for the Buccaneers.
There's Telford again. Boy, I like him.
Niblett, boy, they're really looking inside now. English at the high post, Dennis on the other side. They get it down to English. Nice shuffle. Silvers blocked but fouled by Thompson.
And they don't get that chance if Telford doesn't come up with the rebound. ORU had outscored East Tennessee State 30-22 when Telford was out for 10 minutes with a foul problem. So gives you an idea of how important he is. And if they come back, certainly they'll go back and mark this possession as an important one if these free throws are made.
A dozen for Trezell Silvers.
We'll understand that one.
1 Thompson says no more of this. ORU fortunate there to come out up by 3.
Great
Diving.
leaping play by Garner to come up with a basketball.
And then diving at his feet, Jason Niblett, first foul.
Well, game of free throws right now. East Tennessee 75% on the year. The Titans coming in at 65%. A lot of times you kind of find out what type of condition a ball club is in at the late part of a ball game, and we'll see for the Titans with Garner at the line. Boy, he's had a great night.
Came in averaging 8. Could have got it in 18 with that, but he's got the loose ball. Tumbling into the press table. He'll come back out and help on defense now. 4 on 3 go the Buccaneers. Talford, look at him move. Dennis. Titans get the block, but the foul. Looks like they're pointing at Henderson again. That'll be his 3rd.
That's the play that Coach LaForce would like to see out of Dennis. He said he needs to become more physical. He said, forget what he could be professionally. He said, for us and to help us, he has to become more of a true center inside. Those are the type of plays that'll earn him some kudos. Ken Trickey chewing on the nails with the Titans up by just 3 and 3:03 to go.
Buccaneers 50% from the line, 10 of 20. ORU 5 more attempts, 4 more makes.
You know what that tells you? Whoever loses, say we lost it at the line. And then they'll be right. You won't be able to argue with it.
When you're shooting in the 50s. Dennis, half dozen points tonight. He averages 18. All Southern Conference 2 years ago as a junior before the injury. He knocked down 20 and grabbed 6 boards a game. Loose ball. Nicely tipped by Garner to get it back for ORU, so the Titans still by 2.
Not what you're looking for, even if it goes in.
Yeah, poor decision by Brian Garner. Transition now for Niblett. Buccaneers could tie it or take the lead with less than 2:45 to go. Inside, English. Boy, he improvised, didn't he? He was cut off and just spun it up there. Tie game in the last 2.5 minutes.
Here's the advantage of English, able to go inside, able to cut into the paint occasionally, pick up a ball, and I think he surprised the Titans.
He's 6 out of 9. Thompson backing in for the left side. Off the glass, can't hit it. Buccaneers have it with a chance to take the lead. Silvers wants to go all the way. Defensive foul.
The last 2 trips for Roberts haven't been good ones. 4 shot selection, the first time down by Garner, and then even though not a bad effort, I think that Ken Trickey's never going to put it in a deep freeze, but you want a little more patience, and remember at that particular time, it's a tie ball game. That basketball and the possession of it is important then. You don't know what the situation is going to be when you get the ball back, and make sure what you're getting is a good shot. Try to get to the line a few more times.
They just cannot hit from the line. Silvers, 4 of 10. They're down below 50% now. And they can't take the lead with that one. English lost the ball. It was stripped from him by Scott Coleman. Here come the Titans. Henderson all the way. And a blocking foul on East Tennessee. Your basic mismatch. Henderson 6'8", 235. Jason Niblett 5'11", 170.
Wasn't an excellent pass, a great vision just to see him there, but when he got the ball, Henderson, you knew it was going to be one of those bang-bang plays. He didn't have much of an opportunity to turn and find out who was waiting for him, and really, the Titans kind of fortunate that he's able to go to the free throw line.
Giselle Silvers sits down. Jerry Pelfrey maybe for some three-point shooting back in there. Henderson can't hit it. Best ORU now can do is get the 1-point lead. 7 for Cornell. It's 73-72 with 1:55 to go.
Henderson 5 of 6 from the line, 1 of 7 from the floor.
They get it inside to English, and they release the shot very quickly. The possession goes back to the visiting team.
Good tie-up, though, by Henderson. They're needing that kind of effort from him inside.
Alford throwing it in for English. Mason Niblett will run the offense. 35 in the shot clock. A minute 37 to go. Telford. Short on the three. You get the feeling if he'd have made that, they'd probably go on and win the game. Now who knows what'll happen.
He kind of shot-putted that one. Didn't get good rotation on the basketball, and maybe a step out of his range, at least that time.
Garner underneath. Henderson had a slam and he lost it. Telford at the other end can't hit it. Neal had it. Lost it. It's Niblett for East Tennessee, and the Bucks will get it back with a minute to go.
Oh, man.
There's a 20-second differential on the shot clock.
These teams are both cheating death here right now, and one of them ain't going to make it.
Shot clock at 30, game clock at 50.
That last trip for the Titans, Garner finally makes the great decision, and then Henderson, I think he was shocked that he got the basketball in that position.
Now LaForce wants a timeout. 41 seconds to go. 21 seconds on the shot clock.
Boy.
ORU should be up by 3 if they make that slam.
Yeah, and don't things look a whole lot rosier for the Titans. They're sitting in this huddle right now saying, hey, all right, you can defend the 3. They're going to have that to tie. And don't foul, and we're in pretty good shape here. Even if they hit the 3, you got the chance to bring the ball up and win the ball game with the game tied. Well, a whole different deal right now for Ken Tricky's ball club as the lead is just 1. Let's listen in.
And we get the rebound and not let them tie you up. You got to catch it. And if you get out here and just double up, they liable to get the ball. You got to come away from the ball. You don't have to be in any big hurry. We got a 1-point lead. If they score, then we've got to get down here and figure out what we're going to do.
Screen for Ray. Screen for Ray. Screen for Ray.
Hey, I don't want a basket off this series. Let's take block out. Meanwhile, what are we going to do when we come up with the ball?
Alan LaForce is plotting offense. He's got to get a basket on this possession.
Is you hearing
He'll screen for Silo. Don't take what I do. Let's get it. Let me get the hands up.
You know, one of the reasons Ken Trickey, in my opinion, is a good college basketball coach, he keeps it simple. If we get the ball and if they score and we get the ball, we got to come down here and figure out what we're going to do. I mean, kids understand that. It's not triple XY, do this, do that. Hey, we got to get the 2 inside of the 3. You keep it simple for players, and he does.
Which you may assume means we'll get it across half court and call a timeout and talk about it. 41 seconds to go. Again, 21 on the shot clock as action restarts.
East Tennessee has out-rebounded Oral Roberts on the offensive glass. 18-8 in this second half. Boy, a lot of second chance points.
6 on the shot clock. Telford can't hit it. Dennis has it back. He misses. Rebounded by ORU, and English in the backcourt fouling.
Well, the Bucks got the second chance that time, but couldn't convert on it. And Thompson comes up with the key rebound. 18 seconds to go, and obviously he's got to hit a couple here to put the Titans in excellent position.
Sebastian Neal will be at the line. Titans leading scorer, but only 10 tonight. 13 under his average.
I beg your pardon, I thought it was Thompson, but Neal going to the line.
He was right in the middle of things, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You look up and 32 and 33 are up there all the time. Neal tonight, only 5 of 10 from the line.
And 82% on the year, so that is uncharacteristic of him. Neal and Thompson combined for 45 points and 18 rebounds a game for the Titans.
18 seconds to go. This for a 2-point lead.
Always nice to have the 2-point attempt coming up. Gives you a little bit of boost going to the free throw line, knowing you don't have to hit that first one.
Those are huge. It'll take a 3 to tie. Oral Roberts calls the timeout to talk about defense.
Ken Trickey going to put it together, and now obviously, and I guess East Tennessee, you can come down and figure, Bob, that, all right, Oral Roberts is going to push out. You might get the 2. If you get the easy 2 for East Tennessee, you can still take it and then call timeout and set up the press and a chance to steal and foul. And the way these teams have been shooting for the night, I wouldn't be afraid to put anybody in the free throw line, even though Neal hit those last 2. So be interested to see what the Buccaneers decide here on this possession, or if they say, hey, let's come down, work it for a good 3, and go for a tie in overtime.
Unofficially, ORU with 1 more timeout.
They've got 2.
East Tennessee State with 2.
1 timeout left.
Well, I guess it's official now. The head coach knows it from Glenn Smith, the trainer, who obviously checks at the table.
That man ought to write a book, because the guy in the middle standing up there, Glenn Smith, the trainer, he's been around here since day 1 of Oral Roberts basketball. He's seen them all come and go, and guaranteed bestseller with all the folks that he's come in contact with over the years.
18 seconds to go. Titans in a situation where they can grab a big one here at home before heading back on the road against the Rebels of Ole Miss Monday night. They're undefeated at home. They're 3-point shooters, the Buccaneers. Telford is 2 for 7. Palmer's hit a couple. Pelfrey only 1 for 5. He's down on the right wing. He's the man with Telford you really have to be thinking about. The others, not their primary 3-point shooters. There's Pelfrey, missing with it. Baseline, Dennis, they score, call timeout. It's a 1-point game with 8 seconds to go.
Offensive rebounds again. You absolutely cannot give that opponent another opportunity. If Oral Roberts rebounds the basketball, the game is virtually over, because they're going to get fouled, they're going to have a chance to come down. It's going to be a 2-shot opportunity. You hit 1 of the 2, and it's a 4-point game. Well, it doesn't happen. Now it's a 1-point ball game. You've got to get the ball in bounds, first of all, Bob, and protect the basketball and hopefully get to the free throw line.
And if you're Ken Trickey, the guy you want receiving the inbounds pass is Sebastian Neal.
Second chance points in this basketball game. East Tennessee State with 22, Oral Roberts with 12, and it's made it a ball game for the Buccaneers.
Well, doesn't that figure out, Bill? They had 10 more offensive rebounds, 10 more second chance points. So half the time, they turn it into a basket.
All right, the Titans 4-11, looking for victory number 5, but trying to stay unbeaten at home. And what a boost it can give this program if they can win here, because we mentioned before, 9 of the last 13 at home. They'll feel that, hey, they're as good as anybody when they play in this building, and they go to Ole Miss on Monday just so they don't lose the flavor of road trips. East Tennessee, by the way, will take a day or 2 off, then they go to Southern Miss, where they'll play on Tuesday.
Yeah, look out for Clarence Weatherspoon.
All right, only 1 man back for the Titans.
Thompson gets it to Neal, who breaks loose.
Foul is called before the ball was put in play.
Looked like it was on Rodney English for throwing an elbow.
You know, that may seem good for ORU, but if you take a look at the play, it'd be like one of those, hey, can we ignore it? Because they have a 2-on-1, and not that they're going to shoot, but it would have been difficult for Craig Dennis to come out and foul anybody,
yeah.
Bob.
You can't get up and down the floor that way and back the other way in 8 seconds.
So really for East Tennessee State, this is not a bad deal. No time off the clock, and Oral Roberts going to the free throw line with Brian Garner.
Garner, only 1 free throw tonight. He missed it. It stays a 1-point game with 8 seconds to go. Pelfrey standing down the court, waiting to shoot the 3.
Henderson is the lone man back with him.
It'll take the 3 to win for East Tennessee State. Here comes English. There's Pelfrey inside. He ties the game at the buzzer. Because of the missed free throw, they didn't need the 3. Pelfrey penetrated and hit it at the buzzer to tie it at 76.
And you got to feel that Pelfrey had the option if they back off, take the 3, and we go for the W. Because a lot of times teams take this philosophy of go for the win on the road, the tie at home, which I think is a bunch of hogwash. But anyway, you got to feel Pelfrey thought, okay, they came out on him a bit. He showed the quickness, and he's known as a slasher to take the ball to the hole. He has not had a particularly good night shooting, but he gets that one down, and it's got to be a real upper for East Tennessee State going into overtime. This is a ball club that's won 7 of 9. They've got some confidence. Oral Roberts is a team that is searching and hungry for another W at 4-11, and critical now for the Titans' sake that they come out and get off to a good start in the overtime, because it's pretty glum over there right now.
And Bill, you made the point, and you've got to go back to it now in retrospect. On the inbounds pass, without the foul call, ORU has Sebastian Neal receiving an over-the-top pass, dribbling down the floor to knock off at least 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds, and then maybe shooting free throws himself or getting a shot. Big difference when they get the ball with 8 seconds left than if they do with 3 seconds left.
And Coach LaForce has got to be a happy man. He's got a second chance right now. His ball club, been a good ball game. Hadn't been artistic at times, but been a fun one. And I think Titan fans will be back to watch this ball club. I can't believe some folks are actually leaving. Why do you come to a basketball game and sit through all of this, and it comes down to 76, and some are headed for the exits? You got to be nuts.
Well, we'll see what they miss in overtime.
Isn't this why you come to see a good, close game? And for the folks here, I assume, see the good guys win, which is the home team.
Well,
maybe they figure it's not going to be
you know, everybody comes
result.
to see a good, close game. Obviously, everybody doesn't come to see the result. Ray Thompson will jump it up against Greg Dennis.
Somebody's got curfew, I guess.
East Tennessee State got it as Dennis got an extra tap on it. Clock running down from 5 minutes. Almost a turnover on the hustle by Ray Thompson. English takes control. And Thompson has it for Oral Roberts.
East Tennessee back in that man-to-man.
Coleman and Garner at the guards. Thompson out there with Henderson and Neal. Neal almost traveled. Big dribble jump in there. Dennis on the back of Coleman. Oral Roberts has the possession arrow. Or was it? No, it was a foul.
You know, I think they got the ball to Neal, which is what they wanted, and they wanted to make him take Telford to the hole a little bit with the foul possibility, but a bit of a force even for Sebastian Neal in the play. They're fortunate, but Coleman back at the free throw line now.
Telford and Dennis with 4 fouls. Coleman drills it. 16 for him tonight, and 4 of 6 from the line.
Boy, Coleman and Garner have done the job about picking up the slack we talked about that was so important early on.
Thompson had the rebound. They stripped it away from him. ORU by 1. 1 minute gone in overtime. Half-court trap. Coleman and Garner. Better get a timeout.
Alternating possession.
Yep, they got the jump ball with just ORU possession. And
great
close
defense,
to a 5-second call.
Great defense by the Titans. They didn't back off. They thoroughly frustrated him, and even though there's still a lot of time to go, I almost think you got to call a timeout. That possession of the basketball is real important.
Garner spins in, can't score. He's fouled. If they're pointing at Greg Dennis, he's gone. Nope. It'll be Jason Niblett, his 3rd.
In East Tennessee State, you see a couple of plays there that, particularly that pinch there, that doesn't happen if Keith Jennings, Mr. Jennings is in with them last year, and that's an area where they're still trying to find themselves.
Brian Garner, his 19th point of the night, 11 over his average, 2 of 4 from the line, and this to give his team a 3-point lead. A minute 20 into overtime. Oral Roberts 79-76. Telford Can't hit the layup, but he drew the foul. He is so quick.
You get him the basketball on the wing like that, you're asking for trouble. And East Tennessee has, that time, solved that pressure out there. It's kind of been feast or famine for Oral Roberts with that press that they put out. They get the turnover one time, they get the zip going to the hoop, trying to get the layup the next time. And that's it for Cornell Henderson, his 5th foul.
He leaves with 7 points, 7 rebounds. Looks like they'll call on Scott Davis, a big 6'7" senior who goes 240, local product out of Edison High School via Texas Southern and South Plains, Texas Junior College.
Yeah, they used to ask, where's the beef? Well, I won't ask it the rest of this ball game. You got to fit in nicely here. Nice to have a fresh body for the Titans in there. They throw it around.
Talford now 1 of 3 from the line.
Well, how do you figure it? Team that's a good free throw shooting ball club to come in here and just have a nightmare night.
Well, the way ORU's been beating up on the boards, they'd rather see him miss the first one and make the second. Thompson short on the jump hook.
And again, what's the hurry? You got a 2-point lead, you got 3.5 minutes. You got to have better shot selection if you're Oral Roberts.
Telford cut off. Pelfrey left side. English, did he travel? Yes, he did. 19 turnovers by the visiting team.
It's one of those.
Coach Trickey thinking, guys, let's run a little clock this time.
It's one of those nights where both teams want to win desperately, but it appears that neither wants it.
ORU with the ball by 2. 5 seconds away from the 2-minute mark into overtime.
That was close to walking. Oh, there's that body action. Also a little acting job, I think, by Dennis. But the ball goes back to the Buccaneers.
Rodney English not the last to touch it. ORU with turnover number 18.
But that's not the guy you want handling the basketball 40 feet from the hoop. You want Davis setting picks. You want him down low near the glass. And he got stuck with it out there. For him, that's no man's land.
Talford and Pelfrey. English inside. Too strong. They cannot hit a shot tonight when they need one. ORU keeps its 2-point lead. 2.5 minutes to go. Neal improvising. Lucky to draw the foul.
And this one will draw the ire of Coach LaForce because, again, the outside official about 45, 50 feet from the play makes the call. The ref that was right there, Ron Spittler, didn't see anything. Possible break for the Titans.
That's 4 on Rodney English. English with 4. Dennis has 4. Silvers 4. Talford 4. Buccaneers on the verge of foul disaster. Neal at the line. He could put his team up by 4. That figures. 2:33 to go. He looks a little more automatic than his teammates do right now.
Yeah, and I get the idea, and maybe this is a kiss of death for Oral Roberts, but if they can hit this one, get up by 4, it gives them a little bit of control. You know you're more than, you got a 2-possession lead. Let's see if that comes through.
English kicks it right side. Telford out on top to Jason Niblett. High post, Dennis, turnaround, too strong. Neal rebounds for ORU. Down the floor, Thompson, and he tried to shovel for Coleman.
What's he doing with the basketball?
The 3 won't go for Niblett. Coleman has it, man down the court open. Garner all the way. ORU lucky to keep it.
Bob, the Titans are playing as if they're 7 down with 40 seconds to go, not 4 up with 2:01 to play. Thompson turns it over a moment ago. They're very fortunate to have the basketball here, and that's an awful shot. Absolutely awful.
Scott Davis air ball on the inbounds play.
Kid Trickey's got to be just furious.
A minute 45 to go. Buccaneers down by 4.
And they look a little stymied right now. Titans zoning it.
English, too strong. Davis rebounds. They've got to get the ball and keep it at least until there's less than a minute left.
Yeah, you've got to use your brains here.
I can even see fans standing up saying, take it easy. When they don't want scoring, you know something's going on.
Now the word gets through. Here's Garner. 25 on the shot clock.
Davis for Thompson. Shot clocked at 20.
Now I get it to Neal and clear out.
That's what they tried to do. Looks like Rodney English has just fouled out with 1:02 to go. We'll see who they called it on. I had him for 4, and that is number 5.
Well, there have been no baskets, no field goals here in the overtime. We were tied at 76 after regulation, and the Titans have come out and hit 5 free throws and only 1 free throw, of course, for East Tennessee State. So almost 4 minutes of OT and no basket, so it does come down to free throw shooting.
English is out. Pelfrey is back. Ryan Garner will shoot 2. He's 3 out of 5. His team's up by 4 with 1:02 left. Not even close.
Not going to be easy, is it? This one might be one of those quadruple overtimes. Who knows?
A 5-point lead, under a minute to go now. In the first overtime. Telford for 3. He drills it. They want a timeout, but they don't get it. Got to have possession or right after the make. 2-point game, 45 seconds and ticking.
And that could be a big non-play, if you will.
How could they not be thinking about that?
This is a veteran ball club. I'm surprised at that.
Davis handles it, gets rid of it in a hurry. Coleman, and shooting through is Telford, and that should be 5 on him.
Boy, Coach LaFleur is so upset that they didn't get the timeout called, because how much time was chewed up there? About 20 seconds, I believe. Yeah, 18 seconds off on the shot clock before they finally commit a personal foul and could turn the ball game around. He was way out of the coaching box yelling on that.
Now they've lost 2 of their starters to fouls. English and Telford, their 2 best athletes. ORU at the line with Scott Coleman. 29 seconds to go. 82-80 the score. Looks like Eric Palmer will check in. Telford was 6 out of 12 from the field, 3 of 8 from long range, and a total of 17 points.
Yeah, a lot of times you see teams play platoon basketball in this situation because you've got timeouts to get your defenders and your quicker players in, and you put your shooters in. But in the case of East Tennessee State with the foul problems, they don't have that option.
ORU evidently wants a timeout if this goes in. I saw Coleman look at the official and say timeout after this free throw. But he can't make it. And it's a 3-point game with less than 30 seconds left. Eric Palmer hanging in the air. Oh, what a 3! Silvers hanging in the air.
You believe it? Of course you do.
Tying the game at 83 with 19 seconds to go.
And Bob, again, they were playing as if there were about 5, like that was a buzzer beater shot. I think 19 seconds to go. These 2 teams, I mean, just playing some crazy basketball tonight. And now the Titans with an opportunity, and their first concern getting it in. Let's listen in now.
It's tied up, so we're ahead because we've got basketball. See what I mean? No bad basketball. We're not going to take a shot.
Looks like we're not going to get the ball. We got 2 timeouts left.
Do we? 34. Is that sure? Let's make sure. In case they press.
No way.
Ray again on throwing the ball.
Hey, but you got to be on. Hey, you can't have a man running loose. You can't have a man running loose. That 1-3-1, I wasn't in on that. I'm not jumping on anybody, but any anytime you've got something like in this time of game, he's got to take his guy, you got to take yours, you take yours, you take yours. We don't have to camp. We put the press on like we're doing down here and fall back and do just like we've been doing. Because we're matched up with them. We're matched up with them.
Assistant coach Cletus Green saying, we're ahead because we have the ball. 83-83, 19 seconds to go. Oral Roberts, 2 timeouts left. East Tennessee State 1.
Well, Bob, the Titans want to, A, get the basketball in bounds, B, over the timeline, and C, get a shot with around, I think, 6-7 seconds ideally, so you got a chance for a rebound and a second effort if it's no good. And if you get the rebound, if you don't, you got to hustle back on defense, prevent the 3 or the buzzer beater.
Thompson got it back from Garner. Now it's Coleman. Thompson's the go-to guy here. He can't get it. There's a foul. It's on East Tennessee State. Looks like Marty's story.
Well, if Sebastian Neal can hit these free throws, he's my player of the game because he's come up with the critical rebounds on the defensive end in the final possessions, and he's also been able to hit some key free throws on the offensive end here in the overtime session. He comes up here drawing a big foul, so he gets a chance to go to the line. And
Alan LaForce wants a timeout here to ice the shooter. It'll be his last one.
Boy, these teams want it desperately. The Titans. Let's listen in again. Here's Ken Trick. He said, if we make it, I want a timeout.
I'm trying to tell you now, we've got to get on our people. If we go back man to man, 8 seconds up the floor, if we 4 seconds, and we just can't let him just turn him loose. Keep him in front of you without a foul. Okay? You hear what I'm telling you?
Watch him all the way up.
Hey, I will tell you, if he makes both, well, if he makes both of them, we're still only up 2. All right, we can't foul now. I don't say foul him down here. I don't want you trying to steal the ball, but I'm not going to let you come up the floor in 4 seconds. I'm going to make you. You see what I'm saying? And we can't throw it, huh?
Who's on the good?
Sebastian make them both. They don't have any timeouts, and we have 2. We got 2 more just now. I just got 1 now, though. All right, let's go.
We've got the timeout if we need it. If we need it.
Hey, but if we miss it, we've got to have the ball and no foul. What kind of shot was that?
Hey, we played too hard to lose this, guys. Come on, we got it. Still Sebastian.
That's one thing both coaches, I'm sure, are saying. We played too hard to lose it.
No foul.
Well, they both played extremely hard. Not always effectively, but hard all night long for 44 minutes and 56 seconds. At the line, Sebastian Neal with a tie game. He's 9 of 14, most free throws attempted by an ORU player this year in any ball game. And the team has done the same thing. They're 25 of 41 tonight. They made 25 against Weber State on the road.
East Tennessee's got everybody up because they got to get the ball first before they can worry about winning the ball game.
84-83. A 2 to tie and a 3 to win is what East Tennessee State needs. And
be sure you match up with the shooter.
Everybody, Sebastian, you pressure on your man on the side, right? Let's go win the game.
That's it. Hey, who got number 5?
Make sure you got your man. The final words in that huddle.
East Tennessee State had 8 seconds to tie the game at the end of regulation. But now only half that to do the same thing 5 minutes later. They've got to go 90 plus in 4 seconds and get it in the hole.
And this is what college basketball is just great. Just to come out, and some people say you got to wait for the tournament. You don't need to wait for the tournament to have great excitement in college basketball, because this game has been one thrill from one end of the contest to the other and still not over.
ORU not contesting the thrower, but they're contesting at midcourt. Here's Niblett. Ball on the floor. Titans have it. ORU wins 85-83 in overtime.
We'll wrap
things up in a moment from the Mabee Center in Tulsa, where ORU stays undefeated this year.